Live. It's setting up your webinar for Facebook Live.
All right, it says we're streaming live. Where are we streaming live? Did you share it to your page?
Redirecting to Facebook Live page.
Oh, there we are. Let's see.
Is it working?
Yes. I don't know how to actually share this, though.
Let's see here. Whoever's watching this replay, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to try to share the actual...
Share.
There it works. Okay, let's see. We have one viewer right now.
It's me.
Or is it me? All right. I shared it to the big group.
It says it was published to the KDP group.
Okay.
All right, so we'll wait. We'll give people a few minutes.
We have 3 viewers. 3 viewers. Hello, 3 viewers.
All right, it should be good. Yeah, okay, people are now starting to come in. So I hope they allow for a replay. They should. I don't know, because
but before we start talking, make sure you record it on your computer through Zoom.
It's recording.
There you go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm here today with Neil, the creator, founder, legend of Merch Informer and Book Bolt. How are you, Neil?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Tired. Nothing new, though.
Tired. It's finally a beautiful day out here. And if Kyle McFarland, I think that's his last name, is watching, guess what I had today?
Chipotle.
No.
Burger King nuggets.
Yes, we went to Burger King. For the first time ever, I was like, dude, I'm going to have to take a picture and send it to Kyle.
Did you?
So, I did take a picture. I haven't sent it to him yet. I don't know if he's watching this.
So it was your first time ever?
It was.
And was it a disappointment?
It was very mediocre.
Yes.
Very medium. Very middle of the road.
He loves Burger King chicken nuggets, and I don't know why. So hopefully he's watching this. If not, I'll tell him to watch the replay just because.
All right, good.
But anyways, we're going to talk KDP Book Bolt today. Nothing in particular, just kind of answering questions. I know some people had some Book Bolt questions, so I do want to get those answered. How are you, Aaron? Let's see.
Where are you seeing these comments?
They are on the live. So if you click on the live on Facebook, you'll see.
All right, let's see. I have multiple Facebook windows open.
Welcome, Neil.
Hello. How are you doing? I'm trying to open everything up, and I have another monitor over here, so my bad.
Let's see here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit you with a question while you're getting everything open. Jose wants to know an expected launch date for keywords.
I don't have a date off the top of my head. We are currently working on it, though. If you're familiar with software, you fix one thing and you get 2 bugs in its place. So we're hoping pretty soon, but I don't want to give an exact launch date, because if we do that, then people are going to get angry at me. So I don't want to promise something I can't deliver.
So one thing I learned kind of working with some software, kind of talking with you, is if a developer says 3 weeks, expect 3 months. It's never goes as planned. It's not that easy for some reason, but
that's true. Well, the thing is, I mean, you plan something out, right? You get it the way you want it, and then you give it to a developer, and a developer takes his sweet time doing it, and then everything should work great. But then you come up with a few bugs. Okay, so then the people work to fix the bugs, and after the 2 bugs are fixed, now you have 4 more. So it'll get there. I mean, as with what we've done in the past, it takes time, but once it's done and working, it should be working for everyone. So we're hoping soon.
You can't rush a masterpiece.
I guess you could put it that way.
That's what I always say. You can't rush a masterpiece. I've developed some softwares, nothing like what you've done with Merch Informer or Book Bolt, but just some simple softwares. And it's like I had Merch Check back in the day, where it would tell you how many results there were for whatever you typed into the box on merch. And it was like every 3 days, Amazon was changing how they tracked that. So every couple of days, I was messaging my developer saying, hey, can you update this to update from here? Will you update it to update from here? And it got to the point where it was just so expensive for the developer just to keep going in and tweaking it. And now Amazon doesn't tell you exact numbers anymore.
Well, I mean, we just released the lister, right,
Mhm.
for Merchant Former, and the way that came about is, we got the developer on it as soon as the beta came out, and like you said, Amazon changed a bunch of stuff around. There's no longer a review page, so that was an issue, and then you go through and you fix everything, but now everything should be working. I finally actually started uploading again, so it's going a lot quicker. But man, the new product beta, I guess you could say, is definitely an improvement over the ancient single version upload, next over what they did.
You want to talk about automation real quick at all? Not KDP automation, just what merch is doing, because I did see that you released that and someone was hating on you, which you get all the time about
Yeah.
this is automating and it's not allowed on merch.
Yeah, so what Merge doesn't want people to do is they don't want you to open up a program, okay, hit go, and then walk away from your computer. Because then you have people bitching and moaning about, oh, my VA did this. Oh, my spreadsheet wasn't right. Oh, my God, I want to blame everyone but myself for my problems. That is the problem with all of the automation. Now, what the lister does is you still have to upload yourself, you still have to click next, you still have to approve the products going through, and merch is totally cool with that. So I mean, one is what they're trying to avoid, and the other is literally just a way to speed up the process of what they already made better.
Yeah, it's funny, if people you use a tool and people are like, "Oh, it's the tool's fault." Well, let's just say you're uploading from a spreadsheet. Well, who filled out the spreadsheet? Because I know the tool didn't.
Yep.
And then, oh, I got 30 rejections today because of this tool. No, you got 30 rejections because you tried to sneak in Nike into your bullet points.
And dude, that's seriously an issue though. Like, not just in merch, but the businesses we're involved in general, is people, if they're not happy with, say, merch, oh, sales are down, they look everywhere else to place blame except for themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, we are playing an Amazon sandbox and they control the vast majority of what goes on. But if you're uploading, just the simple one line text across the chest, and you consider yourself this great, brilliant artist, and that's all you're doing. I see that all the time, though. People are like, my design is so unique, it's so great. Why am I not getting sales? And then I take a look at it, and all it is simply something that can be
Times New Roman.
in 5 seconds. You can go in there and type in, great granddad, download, upload. It's not unique. That's why you're not getting sales, and they're looking for everyone else to blame except for themselves. You have to evolve with the platform.
Yes.
Or look outside of just merch. There is a lot of print on demands out there. There's
Like KDP.
like KDP. And the best part about KDP is it's on Amazon, right? It's very, very, very easy for someone to move from merch. Now, not move completely. I'm just saying add another income stream to your business already. But move from merch. If you have any idea how merch works, KDP is so super easy.
The thing I see the most, I see Aaron here. Hi, Julie. Aaron, I really need to get started with KDP. Since you're talking about merch right now, is anyone else expecting extended review times? I've been seeing that all over the groups today, that there's extended review times today. They're probably just backlogged from yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff's probably getting kicked into manual review, and they have a ton of stuff people probably put up yesterday that they have to get through. But so going over to KDP, looking at it at face value, it looks very difficult compared to merch. There's numerous screens. You have to select bleed or your margins, and then you have to upload your cover and wait for it to go through, then approve it, and then set your price. And then finally 24 hours to 72 hours later, which it's usually less than that for me, it's finally live on Amazon. And, at face value, it looks a lot more difficult.
But for
Merch.
anyone that got into merch at the very beginning, it's literally almost the exact same.
But then you start getting in there and you start doing a workflow. And if you're going into KDP uploading one item at a time, yeah, it's going to be very annoying and it's going to take you a long time. What I do is I will upload 50 tabs, 75 tabs, 100 tabs at a time. There's times where I've uploaded 500 tabs. I'll literally have 250 tabs on one monitor, 250 tabs on the other monitor. And I have a folder of designs and a spreadsheet, and I'm just going in, copying, pasting, selecting the right files. You have to break down all of it into time increments. Don't sit there and do the whole first page on tab 1 and then the whole first page on tab 2. Break it down into sections. So
and for everyone who's not familiar with KDP or you haven't even tried it yet, the reason why you want to do what Jacob's talking about and not doing them all single time, what kind of grammar is that? Doing them all at a single time is because is on the second page. Yeah, the second page in the process where you actually upload your interior and your cover goes into this processing time from Amazon. And
it'll tell you to go make a sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you or someone else, but I was having an issue where you upload the covers, right? And then you have to click on the launch cover preview page. If you click that before it says done processing, it literally will not work for me.
It takes like 20 times longer.
It just doesn't work. Like it'll eventually error out. So what I have to do is wait for it to say, okay, the processing of these files is done, and then you launch the cover. So if I'm doing 100 tabs at once, by the time I'm at the 100th tab, the first one's clearly done processing. Then I just go through and hammer them out.
Exactly. So that's why I don't upload, 8 at a time or 10 at a time. I literally wait until I have a spreadsheet completed, and sometimes there will be a couple hundred on it. I usually don't upload if it's like 73 or less. That's kind of like the magic number, at least for myself, that I learned, 73 or more, 75 or more. By the time you get to that last tab and go back to the first one to click approve or launch previewer, then it's done and it's ready to go. So I just have a folder of designs, and once, designers are done doing what they do best, I go in, write my titles, keywords, everything in a spreadsheet and start uploading. So Aaron, yes, you really need to get started with KDP, as you said there. It's fun. It's really addicting. I mean, as you see here, I have notebooks just laying around here. I have 30 notebooks. I actually have a stack right here. If I pull these a little closer, I have like 4 or 5 stacks of notebooks like this in my house, just because I wanted to see what different interiors and everything looked like. And you can so here's something that a lot of people do is it's like, oh, I want to order a sample. I'm going to order the sample print from KDP, and it's like $2 or $3. It's really cheap, but you're not getting that rank on the book on Amazon itself. So if you want to order one, pay the $6. You're going to get your couple bucks back. You're going to pay a little bit more, but it's going to go ahead and get ranked on Amazon, especially if it's a new interior and you want to see what it looks like. It's on Amazon already. Why not pay the extra $1 or $2 and get it ranked?
Dude, the best part for me is not the getting it ranked. Well, that's a very good part. But my favorite part is that when you put a book on Amazon, this is why it's literally the perfect like side business to merch, because you put a book on Amazon and it's there forever. You do not have to go back and re-upload because you didn't make any sales. You don't have to go back and tweak your keywords. You can. Very good strategy if you're not selling is to go back and look at what you did and then fix it. But it's just, I mean, let's just say you have, 5,000 merch designs and you're continuously uploading on merch and you're getting them on the UK and you're getting them on the DEE platforms. And now there's tank tops and V-necks and you're getting them up there. If once you're caught up, or if you're just looking to break up your monotonous day, which it's even with the new uploader, it's boring uploading to merch. If you upload to KDP, like once you're caught up there, you're good forever. It just sits there and drips money.
Yeah. In all kinds of different countries. I actually,
is it 6 or 7? I think it's
a lot. It's a lot. I don't know the exact number. But the other day I was checking my email. I posted a picture of it, and it's like Amazon Pay. Yes. And there's just so many of them from KDP, and it's like, that's awesome. And like you said, if you are working right now, and let's say you put something up for a funny coworker notebook up, okay, and you put that up now, you can put white elephant into your keywords, and come Q4, you're going to be ranking for white elephant, and you're not going to have to re-upload it. It's going to still be there.
And the thing is, like, what most merchers don't seem to understand yet is that it's not like merch by Amazon. All of the huge niches that were selling like hotcakes at the very beginning are wide open on Amazon. Because no one wants to take this leap. They think it's super hard. They think a book, oh my God, I'm not an author. I can't write a book.
here's a great point Julie just made. KDP is fantastic. I do way better there than merch. A lot of people are afraid to join KDP, start selling on KDP because they're like, well, I'm already not doing the best on merch. Why am I going to add something else to that? I already suck on merch. So why, not saying you suck, Julie, but why am I going to go to another platform? It's like, I have nursing books I upload and they started selling 2 days later.
Yep.
Let me know when you go do that on merch. Let me know when you upload a nursing t-shirt and it goes and starts selling the same day or 2 days later.
Well, merch is great, but you have to realize
Phenomenal.
you're one person against hundreds of thousands. I can guarantee you there's not even half that amount of people doing the low content books.
No, they don't think of it the same. There's a little mind barrier that we have to make people break. We have to make them get past that edge of, okay, merch is this, I do merch, or I do merch in Etsy, or I do merch in Etsy and Redbubble, whatever it might be. But there's more options directly on Amazon. And people ask me all the time, like, well, why don't you do Redbubble? Or why don't you do Zazzle or Cafe Press? And I'm like, look at the traffic on Amazon versus the traffic on Zazzle. Okay.
Well, it's an opportunity cost thing, right? Like you have 5 hours of the day to upload to one platform. Okay. You could do that all on merch. You could do that all on Redbubble, or you could split your time some way between, say, merch and another POD on Amazon, KDP in this case. Where are you personally going to make the most money?
KDP.
That's what you have to be thinking yourself. Some people, they shouldn't be selling on merch. They're trying to sell on merch. They don't understand. They just do not understand t-shirt design and what makes a good t-shirt design. And they're just not cut out for it. They might be better cut out for, say, FBA, or maybe they understand books, but they just really don't get the graphic design t-shirts. It's just, where are you personally going to make your own money? I think KDP is super, super simple.
Well, think about from the design aspect. Okay. Let's go ahead and share my screen here. So I have Bookbolt open here. Let's go to merch research here. Okay. And let's look at Cinco de Mayo, Okay. And let's just pull up some Amazon stuff here. If you look at these designs, something like this, okay, this is more what I was looking for here. Something like this, that is, an actual illustration. People want this because they're going out, they're going to have fun. It is. Whoever drew this did a good job. So if you're watching, props to you. But if, you're going out, you want people to notice your shirt. This is probably for someone that's going out to the bars or whatever to celebrate, to just have a good time. But, someone doesn't necessarily want this on a notebook. Notebooks are a lot of times something private, something that you kind of use for yourself, or you might use it at like work and stuff, but they want simple. They don't want something extravagant. A lot of people don't want everybody looking at their notebooks. They're buying it for themselves or as a gift for someone. So they're not just saying, oh, I'm going to wear this out to the bar. I don't think anybody's going to take a notebook out to the bar with them. So it's something to keep in mind. You don't have to be, merch is getting more and more competitive. You have to create better and better designs. And you see illustration things like this do really well on merch, especially if, all their ducks in a row and their keywords are good. But on KDP, you don't have to worry about this so much because people are looking for just clean, simple notebooks that they can use as notebooks, not to impress someone at the bar, to get a good laugh out of their shirts at the bar, or for a picture. It's just a notebook. It sits in their desk. It gets thrown in their purse, gets thrown in a book bag, whatever it might be. It's simple.
You said, you mentioned gifts. People buy them as gifts. You know what I've seen noticed works pretty well is putting up designs that are specifically kind of gag gift related.
I have a whole brand built around gag gifts. I'll share it with you. I'm not going to share it live.
Dude, it works. It works because and the thing is, right? What's a normal t-shirt cost?
What's low end $15.
Yeah, well, most people are probably going to tell me they price all their t-shirts at $89, but what is a notebook cost? Because I'm pricing mine at $6.99. They're $7. Like, no one thinks about spending $7. No one.
They're hilarious gag gifts. I literally have a whole brand built around coworker gag gifts, and it does phenomenal.
Yep.
It's a hilarious name too. It's when you're going into something like that, be creative. The name is absolutely hilarious. I need to actually go in and add more to it. A ton got rejected because I didn't select adult content. Which I was like, oh, these will be fine. These don't need adult content. And then I emailed them in like, why were these rejected? And they're like, well, it has male
That's a little
anatomy on it.
edgy.
And it wasn't even like a picture, it just was a word, but hilarious brand, does well. But there's so many just little things like nurse notebooks. Nurses literally carry a little notepad with them at work.
Yep.
Why not give them, a little something a little better?
And
My mom has one of these now. She's a nurse.
most people that have a job in general have something where they jot down notes.
Yeah.
And if it's not their computer, I do most of my notes on like a notepad on the computer.
Really?
But I'm a little weird that way. Most people actually like the physical.
I use
book,
notebooks for
right?
everything.
Yeah.
Now, like research and stuff, that goes into a spreadsheet, but like things I'm working on, I kind of try to put like a flow chart together of what I'm doing in a week, just so I can kind of stay on top of everything. I love putting it down on a notebook. It's a good it's a good mental release. It's, you can wake up the next day and it just feels different than typing it out. It's just a place I recommend everyone have a notebook, even you, Neil.
Yeah.
So I'll send you a link of which one you should
All right.
get from me.
Well, hey, the funny thing is, since I take most of my notes on the computer, every time I type something new, and so let's just say I wrote down, what I'm going to do for the week. Next week rolls along, I delete that because I've already done it. So I can't. There's no way to like go back and revisit it, which is often good when you're like brainstorming ideas to see what you've done, why you thought of this, maybe look at what worked, what you think should work.
Yeah, so each week I'm not going to try to show too much on it, but each week is its own page. And I started this one back in January. So it's a little ways in, and sometimes there's random notes all through it, but I just enjoy doing it. Hang on, there's some questions here. Aaron, is there a size that works best? I do 6x9.
Same. That's my main
6x9.
size.
I like it. It's not too small, it's not too big. It can go anywhere with me. I don't ever take it anywhere. It sits on my desk. But something to also take into consideration is I've told this a ton of times already, but I made my niece a notebook for school. Wouldn't fit in her book bag. It was 8.5 by 11.
Are those the long ones? Those are the long ones, right?
No, they're just normal size notebooks. It wouldn't fit in her book bag. So then I had to make her a 6x9. Something else to consider is, let me see if I have any blank pages left in here, is I actually prefer the white or the what's it called? The cream pages over the white. You can see the white is super bright. It actually kind of hurts your eyes. Here's the cream colored pages. I like the cream over the white. I don't know if you've looked at that, Neil.
I have not actually looked at that in person. I haven't noticed a difference. I have put up, different ones for sale. I've not really noticed a difference in sales. I think it might be a personal preference sort of thing.
Yeah, but I prefer the cream. I was going to say matte, but that's the cover. I prefer the cream. It's not as hard on the eyes. I don't know. It feels more natural, I guess.
I like the matte colors. The matte covers.
Yeah, like this.
Glossy. Yes.
But the only issue is you can see this notebook has been used. The first page in here has a date from June of last year. And it's almost full actually now. This is like a little student one. But you can see like if I wipe my hands on this, it's gross. And then over here, here's a glossy one. I'll turn it around here. So there's a glossy one. You can see that huge difference, but I prefer the matte. I don't like the glossy.
The glossy looks more professional, I think. If that's a thing.
For kids stuff, I would say it looks a lot better on kids stuff. This isn't my notebook. This is someone I bought one of these to look at their interior for my niece. Actually, I have like 30 notebooks here. I'm just going to give my niece that she can color in. But on a kid's notebook, it looks really good. I like the glossy on kids notebook. It kind of makes it pop more, I guess. But personal preference, I like the matte. Let's see here. Julie, covers are quicker and easier to design. Yes, I believe they are as well. Once you figure out, your Photoshop document or whatever you're using, Book Bolt Designer, whatever it might be, they are a lot easier to design. Let's see. How do you manage and organize all your KDP files? Would love to see your Excel sheet to get an idea of your process. So I can share an Excel. I'll share an Excel spreadsheet after this. Of what I do, but for like the actual files, it's all Dropbox. So I have it on my computer and in Dropbox, and it's sorted by month. So all my merch stuff is in one, all my KDP stuff, and then like random stuff.
How much space do you have on Dropbox?
Well, I have 2 terabytes and it's full.
On
So
Dropbox?
yeah,
I like to use Google Drive.
I've
That's
just
my backup of choice.
so I've always just used Dropbox. I have 2 terabytes. It's like 1.98 terabytes full. So I'm gonna probably hop over to Google Drive. But like inside of the KDP one, it'll be by month and then by week. So if I go to Amazon and I'm reviewing my sales like you should be to learn what you're doing right and wrong, and I say, okay, I did really good in this niche. All I have to do is look at the date it was published, first for sale on Amazon, go to that folder in my Dropbox, and I can say, okay, here's the spreadsheet I used for those. Here's the keywords I used. And then here's all of the designs, the PDFs and the PSDs. And then I can just build on them from here. So, I mean, Neil might organize differently or he might not organize at all.
I
That's
organize
just
a
how I
little
do
bit
it.
differently. My spreadsheet is basically, the design title, and then I have the title of the actual book, and then I have the brand name, the description, and then I have columns for each keyword.
Yeah, that's how it is for like the uploading portion. Um,
Oh, you're talking about the design portion.
yeah, like where I store all my designs.
Yeah, mine's
Are you,
probably a little bit sloppier than yours is. It's
is
just
yours like new folder 1, new folder 2?
it's not that bad. It's broken down by niche.
KDP available through merch, or is it separate? It is separate. Go to kdp.amazon.com. You can sign up today. There's no wait. And
Zero
there's,
wait time. Unlike
yes,
in the beginning of merch, where some people waiting over a year. I think it was like 14 months was the
yeah.
longest I heard of.
Like, oh, I applied last January and it's now April of the next year and I'm finally in. Okay.
None of that. It's just, honestly, if you've never done KDP before and you have at least one design on merch, you can have a book uploaded and under review, waiting for them to actually push it live within the next 10 minutes. Like while we're on this call,
Literally.
you could get a book up.
Let's see, Monty, do you do different things particular days? Like one day is spent on research, one day is spent uploading. It depends on the week, depends kind of where like the designers are at. I don't really start on a new niche until everything's done and uploaded. So if, I give the designers 200 ideas for one niche and they're like, okay, this is going to take 2 weeks. Well, then I do a whole bunch of other things in those 2 weeks. I'll fill out that whole spreadsheet because I already know what the title is going to say. I'm already going to know the niche. I'm already going to know my target market. So then I just have to fill out my upload spreadsheet. So then when I get them back, I can sit down for 2 hours and blast them all up.
Yep.
So it kind of depends on the weeks. Some days I do more coaching with people. Other weeks I upload more. Other weeks I'm working with a developer or, creating content. It really depends. It can be hard to create a schedule I stick to. Every Monday I do this, every Tuesday I do this, every Wednesday I do this. I also work around Sarah, my fiance's schedule a little bit. So it's like she works usually 4 days a week. So those 4 days I try to go super hard. And then like the other 3 days, it's like I'll hop in the office for maybe 6 hours and instead of 12 or 13. And then I'm only in here a few hours. So every week it's changing.
I'm pretty much the same way, to be honest. I try to block off if I'm giving stuff to designers, like especially for merch. I try to give them about a month's worth of work at a time.
Really?
Yeah. So then it all comes back at once, and it's just like, well, now I have to do it.
Aaron, page count, I do 120 page. So this right here, this is 120 pages. It's pretty much full at this point. I really need to get me another one, but
I think it depends on what you're doing.
yeah,
Too, right? Like if you're doing a planner, a 365-day planner, you're not going to have 120 pages. You're going to have 365, one for each day. If you're doing just a normal journal, 110, 120 works well.
Oh, here it is. So here's another example of why I don't do 365-day planners in a 6x9. So here it is. Okay. Here it is compared to that 120 page count. Okay. Once you get in here and you open up to the middle, it does not want to open up all the way. So if we look here, half of this space here on this side is wasted. It's a waste of space. It's too small to open up enough to make it usable all the way. So I do not recommend doing a yearly planner in 6x9. It's actually awful. It looks really good, but it also feels like I'm holding a telephone book.
Yeah.
Let's see. Julie said it depends. My custom planners were 167. I'm working on one that's 106. It really depends what you're doing. Let me know when you can do a daily, yearly planner with 100 pages. I mean, each box would have to be like that big for it.
It would. That would look pretty bad too. I think people would be disappointed if that's what they got.
Yeah. Do you guys upload a lot of different designs to several, or a lot of designs to several different colors, matte slash glossy? No, I put them up once, sometimes twice. If it's like a merch design, I'll put it up. And then if it does really well on, let's say, black, then I might add it. I might invert it, or I might add it to a few other things. But 98% of the time, I'd say no. Once it's up the one time.
Yeah. And I've noticed some people that I've talked to, they take their design, excuse me, and they put it on a cover, and then they put it on every single size cover, and they put that up on Amazon, and they don't see any extra sales for it. It's just wasted time, I
A
think.
lot of wasted time. Question about categories. How should I be placing these based on niche? Just starting to get into KDP. So Jeremy, categories is something that, you'll probably hear 50 different opinions on how to do categories here. It's a very sensitive subject in the KDP world. My strategy for categories is non-classifiable and then one category related to the niche. So if you're doing something with unicorns on it, it's going into a unicorn planner. It's going into some kids category. I'm not going to sit here and say an exact category because there's a bazillion of them, but it's going to go into something related to it. And take into consideration when you do non-classifiable, Amazon will put it into categories for you based on, I think it's based on what people searched to find your notebook / your keywords. What it is and how you're targeting your people. There is one kid's book that's in an adult book that's in a kid's category that kind of concerns me. But they will place you where they feel fits. And that's not automatic either. That's not always going to happen for you. It's just something I noticed. Let's see, another category one. Do you use the same cover with variations of interiors? No.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
It depends.
It depends, right? Like if you're doing a unicorn journal, okay, maybe now this is completely different from the low content, but like a unicorn coloring book would be the same concept, right?
Yeah.
You have a coloring book interior. So,
but like something like this, you could do a lined page one, and then you could do a planner with this. There's a ton of different things you could just do with the word hustle. But for the most part, I just do a lot of line notebooks and a few other things like in targeted niches that fit best for that niche.
Yep.
Where do you guys recommend checking out how to list your first notebook? Let's do it live.
Let's do it live. I like that idea. You got a design already?
We'll create one real quick.
Okay.
Let me sign in. I hope I don't sign into the wrong KDP account. My buddy's uploading for me currently. He's actually in my driveway uploading from my MacBook.
In your driveway? You couldn't even invite him inside?
He was on the phone, so he wasn't going to be in here. And it was a very, very important call. So he's like, I'm just going to go outside. I was like, okay. He's sitting in my garage, so he probably has music playing out there and probably drinking some beer or something. I don't know. So let me see here. Let me blur out some stuff. One thing I'll say this. VAs are allowed on KDP. Yep. Be very, very careful that you do not log in at the same time. That's why I just came over here to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong. I actually this is just a blank test account. It doesn't even have any of the anything live. It doesn't even have the bank information like put into it. It's just so I can do literally these type of videos. And then let me open up Photoshop here real quick. And I'm not going to go through the whole process because we would literally be sitting at the wait to approve page for an hour. Because that section takes forever once you launch the previewer. But anyways, let me start sharing my screen here. So here's this share screen. So this is the dashboard. As you can see, this account isn't completed. Once you sign up, this is what you'll be taken to, and then you'll click on paperback here. And this is the loading process. So we're going to just create a cover here real quick. let's see, we'll just make it black and we'll put, this is my cover. Something real simple. And you can take your merch designs and bring them on over here.
I don't think that worked. There you go.
I don't know why that didn't work. So we'll just do this. And then I'm actually going to pull out some grid lines here just to make sure it's centered, which isn't important here because we're not making this live, but I'll go and pull out some grid lines just so people can kind of see how I follow here. So if you put your text too close to the edge, okay? So if we take our text here and we put it like this, okay? KDP is going to reject it. They'll say, oh, it's going to get cut off. You know, if you put it out like this, they're going to come back and say, this is not going live. It's not like merch where you upload your image and it can be hanging out of your PNG and it's fine. They're not going to allow it to go live. So then what we'll do is we'll center this. We will save this as and you can see here's a folder of stuff. We'll save this as a Photoshop PDF and we'll do upload sample. So we will save it here. And then let's see, we will open this back up. Your title, your book title has to match exactly what the cover says or the spine. So if you want to use an image only, let's just say you want your cover to just have a orange or a yellow circle on it, okay? You still have to put text on here. So you can take it, you can put it on the spine, okay? You could rotate this, put it on the spine. You could make it real small. You could put it back over here, real small in the corner, kind of make it a little bit blend in better to the background so it's not real noticeable, like so. And then you can have just an image, okay? But you have to have some type of text on there. It cannot just be an image. So your book title has to match exactly what the cover says. So this is my cover. Subtitle, keep it simple. Create Space used to allow you to spam the subtitle box full of keywords. KDP does not like it. So we'll just do lined sample notebook. Series, we're not going to mess with series right now. This is not going to be part of a series. It's not going to be part of an edition. Author, we'll just put my name here. So Jacob Bates. We'll move on. Description, it must be 75 characters, I believe, is the minimum description. So just think of something that is relevant. You can do HTML in here as well, make it look all pretty. I don't mess with that often. I kind of have a template I use that I just swap out keywords for. So if we do, this is my cover sample for the KDP and merch by Amazon group with Neil and Jacob. Okay. Next, do you own the publishing rights? Is this a public domain? No, we created this. Keyword boxes. I'll give you a little quick rundown. I made a post. I bumped it to the top today. Box 1 and 2. You have 50 characters in each of these 7 boxes. So you have 350 total characters you can use. You do not need to use commas. You do not need to use dashes. You do not need to use the plurals of words. So if you have book, you do not need to put books. If you have notebook, you don't have to put notebooks. So in box 1 and 2, I will describe the physical product. So what is this physical product? This is a notebook. It is a journal. It is a planner. It's an organizer. What is the physical product that you're selling? So that is in box 1 and 2. Box 3 and 4, who is your target market? So is this for moms, dads, grandmas, students, teachers? Who is the physical product for?
This is going to be different than merch because this isn't going to be shown on the actual Amazon page. No human being is actually going to see this. So it doesn't have to be completely non-keyword stuff.
So this is probably going to surprise some of you. So keyword stuffing not allowed on merch. That is literally what you want to do here. These are just back-end keywords. So if you're coming from FBA, if you think, let's see, kind of like Etsy tags, I guess, or Redbubble tags, if you think of some of those things, that's how you want to write these. You don't want to write these as sentences. It's going to hurt you a lot. So stuff these full. You can see how I'm literally just writing the words here. So that's box 3 and 4. Box 5 and 6, niche specific keywords. So if we're doing unicorn stuff, you would put unicorn in here. Rainbow, I don't know, sparkly. I don't know. I'm just randomly thinking of things here. So that is box 5 and 6. Okay. Might help if I put the number. And then box 7 is kind of extra space. So you might need more space here for niche keywords, or you might need more space for what is the product, who is the market. Put that in box 7. If you don't have anything else you need to put words like funny, cool, awesome, gift, Christmas, birthday, and then if you have space, white elephant, if you don't want to use any of the other ones. White elephant's really good for coworkers and things of sorts. So that's box 7. Okay, so super, super simple. Nothing too crazy, nothing, you don't have to go nuts with this. Let's see, categories. Like I said, pick something related. So non-classifiable, let's go into juvenile fiction here. Let's go into animals. Let's see, is there a unicorn in here? No, there's not.
I doubt it.
I was just going to see. So you could just do juvenile activity books. Neil, you said coloring book earlier, so we're going to do that. But there's literally a gazillion categories here. I would suggest kind of going through and getting familiar with this section, because there's so many here that you might never realize if you don't do that.
That being said, though, you don't have to spend 3 hours on your selection. Just pick something that is related to the book and it's close enough.
Exactly. So we're going to click save. Is this adult content? No, this is not adult content. We're going to save and continue. And then we get here. So as Neil was saying earlier, you know, these books are up forever. These books don't fall off in 180 days or 90 days or in a year. These books are up forever. So you'll grab an ISBN number. You will then scroll down. You will select your paper. Do you have a colored interior? I would recommend not having a colored interior. Let me actually pull one up here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about if you're new to this.
If you pick a color interior, sorry, Jacob, but I just have to tell people, if you pick a color interior, your pricing on your book is going to skyrocket.
Yes.
It is going to get very.
That's why you messaged me the other day.
Because I was selecting it by mistake, and I was like, "Why is my book costing $14 to print? Normally, I'm charging $6.99 total."
So here is interior. This is obviously on white paper, but if you select the cream paper here, it's going to print on the cream paper like I showed earlier. Do not select color interior unless it actually has color and you want to sell the book for $20. Otherwise, you're not selling it for $6.99. You select your size, 6x9 is what we're doing. Bleed or no bleed. Neil, you want to describe this because so many people hate this, including yourself?
Yeah, so bleed is going to be the edges of your notebook. And when they print, if you select no bleed, then it's basically going to cut off all the edges. So if you're using the Book Bolt Designer or any of those templates, always select bleed, because that's going to make sure that none of your stuff gets cut off. KDP is not going to yell at you about it, and it actually will pass review, which can sometimes be annoying because with the KDP books, you actually have physical reviewers looking at it. It's not a completely automated process.
No, every single book gets looked at.
Yep.
So for this one, we're going to select bleed. So if we look at that again here, you can see these lines. If you imagine these lines extend off the page, they're not stopping early or anything. Let me see. Do I have an example here? So like this here, let me stop sharing my screen. Here would be a good example. This, you can see the lines don't extend past the page. Okay. The one I just showed on screen does extend past the page. So let me start sharing again. So we're going to select bleed, matte, glossy, personal preference, kids things, I do glossy, everything else I do matte. And then here you will upload your manuscript. So this is your interior file, which we can do a demo on how to create an interior on BookBolt if you would like, Neil. So here we do the manuscript, your interior file, and then cover. So we will select one. So we'll just do this interior file and it will upload and upload and upload.
This is the slow part I was talking about before. It takes forever. And even after you clicked upload, it's going to sit there and say that it's processing the file for like 5-10 minutes.
And then we will select upload a cover you already created. You can use their their cover creator. No, don't. Some people love it, but I will never use it. So then we're going to upload our cover file, which is right here that we made. And then this will upload, and give this a second here to go back down. Let's see. So you can see here what Neil was talking about earlier. If you joined us towards the beginning, it shows processing your file. Wait until this says done. Otherwise, you will be sitting here on this launch previewer for a very long time, and there's a higher chance of it sending you to a 404 page. And it's very annoying. So this could take 10 minutes. This could take 20 minutes. It could be nice and go through in 2 minutes. I've not found a reason. It really depends on what's going on. Whether I am at my parents' house who have 1 megabyte internet, or I'm here and I have a gigabyte internet, it does not change the fact of how long the processing part takes. So we're going to let this sit here. Let's see, Neil, do you want to play around on I have not used your interior designer yet. So this is going to be a first time here.
So this is page, you either pick cover or interior. Both of them are just going to download PDFs, which you can upload straight to KDP, which is nice.
So we'll do 6x9 page count. So Aaron, you were saying, what size, what pages, this is what you want to do. So bleed, no bleed, and then submit, and then generating template. It can take a few minutes and boom.
Yep. And then all you have to do seriously is just type out. I mean, so you picked interior, right? You can use this for your cover pages too, which is what I did. All I did was upload the images, make sure it was black background, and download it. It took me, 5 seconds a cover just to get them all done. And you can, go ahead.
You can come in here and do so many different things. I mean, I'm sure as time goes on, you'll probably add more and more things in here. I mean, if anybody thinks back to Merch Informer when it first launched, it would be like using a computer from 1998 compared to what it is now. The same thing's going to happen here, I have a feeling, and you can stop me if I'm wrong, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of plan on the difference is like we actually sell on these platforms too, right? So if there's things that actually help us, we will actually add them. So then it's quicker. So if you you picked an interior, so put that on the other page, and then when you download, you'll see what it does, which is basically just replicate each of the pages over the amount of pages that you selected. So I think you selected 120 pages.
Yes.
So when you download this, it will replicate the left and right page for 120 pages. Let's
see here. I'm going to drop this again. If you're not using BookBolt, I would highly recommend it. There is a $70 off your lifetime subscription in the chat here on Facebook. But okay, let's download this and then let's take a look at this so you can see it just replicates what you do. Now, let me ask this, Neil. There was some questions about this in the chat. That's why I actually went through this whole process to bring it here. It says, where is it? The BookBolt interior designer seems to lack the ability to start and end the bundle with a single page.
Yeah, so if you actually create, say, a PDF, you can actually just use any of those online tools to split them up and then add so I think what they're asking is if they want to have like the cover, the first page says something completely different. I mean, you can just create a PDF that says one thing, split it up with you just Google PDF, split up PDF, and you split it up, and then you pick whatever you want, and you can just attach it to the PDF that you download. Now, yes. I don't personally do that. I just keep the pages pretty simple. I've never had someone complain about them.
All right, let's see here. Okay, so now this is done. You can see upload successful. It's not processing anymore, so we can launch the previewer, and then we can see what this actually looks like. And this is just a sample. So let this load and load and load like KDP loves to do. And this is why I do so many at a time, because while it was going through that processing thing, you could have done all the other tabs you had open. So now we can click approve. It looks good. We can come through here and we can click approve. It'll take us back to the screen we were just on. And then we click save and continue.
So it's going to cost Amazon $2.29 to print the book. So you priced it above that, probably like $6.99.
$6.99. And since this is a demo account, obviously I can't actually publish this. But $6.99, we click publish your book and you're done.
Click on the 6 other marketplaces there. Yeah, so there's 7 total marketplaces. You upload a single time, and your product's going to be available in Italy and France and Germany.
And they automatically do the conversions here, just so you know.
Yep.
Another question I got the other day is, do I need bank accounts in all of these countries? Because if you're in the US, obviously your bank account's not in euros
Nope.
or pounds. No, it converts it to you once you actually get it.
Which is why when you start selling books, you get a million emails about all of the
different royalty payouts you're getting.
yes, and they all hit your
So
bank account at once.
it's simple. That's literally the entire process. You click this publish your paperback book, and as long as there's nothing wrong with it, it's live. You're done. Unless you want to go back later on and change anything or change your keywords, you're done with it. There's nothing else to be done.
You never have to upload again. You do the process once. That I don't know how many times I can say that, but it is my favorite part about KDP in general. Even before I started doing the low content books, I do have a few actual books on Amazon, and I uploaded them 3-4 years ago. I haven't touched them.
When doing book bolt designer, I lost the comment. Is there a size limit on the cover image we can upload 2 images?
There shouldn't be, but keep in mind that it is a web-based designer. So a lot of that is going to depend on your computer, how much RAM you have, how your cache is distributed. So it's definitely going to depend on your personal computer. So if you try to upload, say, a half a gig image, it's either going to crash or take 30 minutes to upload. But if you're just doing normal merch images, you won't have a single issue.
Let's see here. Do you always pick non-classifiable plus 1 category? Mainly. I don't always even pick a second category. Sometimes it's just
I typically do.
sometimes it's just non-classifiable, but I try to do one other at least. Just
as
because
long as it's close. Just close enough.
It's kind of relevant and related.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put a kid's notebook in ancient world history. Keep it relevant. Let's see here. This is a long one. This is more like a story. Okay, this is the email, actually, I think.
Wait, what?
Look at the Shannon said, I've had several of my KDP books rejected due to the cover.
So it's okay. So if you're having covers rejected, that has to do with the bleed of the actual notebook cover. So what you have to do is, if you're doing a background image, you have to make sure that you extend it past the edges. That way that when the edges are actually cut for your book, that it passes review.
Does Book Bolt do page numbers for interiors?
We have a blank page interior on. If you just go to bookbolt.io outside of the designer, head over. No, you won't be able to get it from here. Just go to bookbolt.io.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you go to the very top menu and you click resources and then interior wizard and then click on the button right there, and then you can pick. So we have the blank currently does not actually pass review. We are taking a look at that, but this is an easy way to grab the actual journal pages that Jacob was showing you. If you just select wide rule, select the size and a page count, it will actually just throw out the PDF for you.
Done.
So
simple.
It's pretty easy. Now, if you want to do 1 through 120, currently you can't exactly do that with the interior designer, but that definitely is something we can take a look
at. Can you or should you use a different account from KDP from merch or your FBA? Mine's the same.
Yeah, mine's the same too.
Maybe with FBA.
They're totally different departments.
Yeah, they're all
like,
different.
If you think
platforms.
about Amazon, their departments don't even talk to each other, like ever. So I don't think you're gonna have an issue at all if you're worried about that.
Yes, Marcia, this will be recorded. And as soon as the live's done, it should post in the group. If not, I'm actually recording, so I'll post the replay as well here and in the mastermind group. But any other questions? I think we hit them all. Let's see. There was a question on the post the other day, how to get evergreen keywords. Don't use trending or holiday topic keywords. Look at keywords that are relevant. So earlier, Neil obviously said keywords is coming. So if you lock in your lifetime now, then you're going to get access to this and everything else BookBolt releases that's on BookBolt. I hope I said that correctly, Neil.
Yes, yes.
So everything that is released on Book Bolt, so everything like this, just like Merch Informer, it's going to be part of this. And you can see it's coming soon. And we talked about with development, it always takes a lot longer than you expect it to. One fix equals 3 more bugs. So,
Also, if you watch Jacob just upload a book and you're familiar with Merch Informer, you do know that we do have a lister. We do have a lister for Book Bolt as well, which is just hotkeyed currently, which is super super easy. I mean, it takes the process, which is only like 3 pages anyways, and especially if you're doing like 100 to 200 tabs at once, like Jacob's doing, it's pretty easy to set up.
so you set your hotkey. It can be whatever you want it to be. Make it something that you don't ever use.
I usually do like shift plus something like shift T, shift R, shift E, shift W. That's the kind of stuff that I personally.
And then you can just fill this all in. So if you're going to use the same subtitle every time, if you're going to use same subtitle, lined, not subtitle,
Line subtitle.
lined notebook, lined notebook here, every single time is your subtitle, put it in there. If you're going to use the same author name every single time, put it in there. If you have a description you use every time, include it in there. Then you can see categories and sizing. So it helps a lot. It speeds up the process a lot. I also have a tool like this, and I'll admit Book Lister is a lot better than mine. Neil beat me on that one, and I'm not afraid to admit that. You have a better development team. But they both do the same thing. He just has categories here, and that's something I couldn't figure out on my own. But this just makes your upload time 10 times quicker, 100 times quicker, especially, if you're going niche by niche, your keywords should stay pretty relevant to each other.
Yeah.
Your description will stay pretty similar. Same thing with the subtitle. So all of this will stay the same. The biggest thing you'll have to change is title. So don't put anything in the title field unless it's like first birthday. And then the next one you upload is second birthday. And then what you could do is just leave birthday in there. So then all you have to do is add in the number before. Kind of just think of ways to make it easier for yourself. Let's see here. Question on number of pages. When I looked at the cost, it seemed like to make this most, it seemed like 108 pages was better. Or am I missing something? You make like, I want to say it's 12 cents, 14 cents less to do 120 page count. It's minimal.
Yeah, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's not.
It's really cheap.
Yeah.
So I just do 120. How long is the discount code valid for? How long is it valid for, Neil?
Until we come out of beta, which I don't have an actual date on that. We want to get the keywords out though for sure before we come out of beta.
So let's do this. Let's stop sharing. So if you have not signed up for Book Bolt, if there's no other, let's see what session in Amazon. Let's do this real quick. What session in Amazon I find KDP books? Amazon.com and type in coffee notebook. Book Bolt, perfect example here. So if we come to Book Bolt, we type in
cloud. Actually, go to the cloud because that'll be faster. I mean, this is going to be some of the top sellers. Just click search, and then it's going to bring back stuff that's actually actively selling.
Keyword count. So what keywords are commonly used? Your average BSR, lowest price, highest price, average price, and you can see here out of the top sellers, the average price is higher than what I price at. And you can come through here, and you will see. So if you're new to KDP and you see create space and then independently published, don't freak out. That's just what KDP used to be before they merged into KDP. And then you'll see independently published. But these are all KDP/create space books. There's going to be a lot of things in here. Just so many open areas. There's going to be so many things you didn't know that you could do until you start playing in here, like blank comic books. How many people say, oh, I'm going to create blank comic books? Probably not many. And they do very, very well. There's a lot of competition for them.
I mean, there's one. Scroll up a little bit. There's a budgeting one. I didn't even think about it. No, down right there. Budgeting planner. I mean, that's something I wouldn't have even thought of until I literally just saw it.
Well, you can do logs for just about everything: medicine, workout, diet, diabetic, check your blood pressure. These are things people that are diabetic, and I know this speaking to diabetics, sometimes their doctors want a log. And guess what? They have a little notepad or they use an app in their phone to track it. There's going to be budgeting ones, grocery lists. The list literally goes on and on of what you can do.
Open recipe books for every kind of diet imaginable.
Yes, blank recipe books even.
Yep. Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you take a main diet. I don't know what's a main diet.
Keto.
The keto diet, right? You just say keto recipes, and in the middle, you can create a custom interior. You can use BookBolt. You can use whatever you want. Create a custom interior for people to actually write down the recipe, and there you go. There's another book.
Let this load here real quick. And I was actually using BookBolt a little bit earlier to do some research on a niche I'm not going to say. But it just it makes
it related to the what we were talking about earlier. What did you say? Now I'm forgetting. You said you had a whole brand full of books.
Oh, okay. No, that's not it.
No,
no, that's been done. I actually have a ton of designs I need to upload. I've just been waiting on some things to upload those, but it was for a hobby, a very popular hobby that's getting more popular with the season here. So let this load here, and then we can see here: eat, drink, be healthy. BSR 5,000. Keto meal planner for weight loss.
There you go. That's exactly what I was talking about.
So the possibilities are absolutely endless. Let me see here. Do I need to make different marketing accounts for the ones I use for merch? No. You would go into KDP and then you would click on promote and advertise if that's what you're asking, and then it will send you over, and it might have you fill out information. It might not. If it's linked, it shouldn't. I do not believe. The keywords that are displayed in Bolt seem to be pulled from the listing description rather than from the 7 boxes, and are not as useful as if they were generated by the 7 keyword boxes.
Well, yeah, the 7 keyword boxes are back-end keywords. They don't display to anyone. Now, that being said, the keywords that people actually use in their titles, in their subtitles, are going to be relevant to the book, which is what we're going to display. So you can actually come in here and look, like what Jake is showing you on the screen. If you go through the keyword count, journal, keto, okay, keto is a keyword that's related, right? Line, not the most related. But you're going to go through and you're going to look for keywords that are related, and you can actually start playing those into your keywords.
Because they're still in the title. You're still going to rank for those things.
Yeah, the title is important. I mean, the back-end keywords are important, which is why you filled them out. But I mean, one of the most important ranking factors on Amazon is the title of whatever product you're releasing.
Didn't mean to click that. So anyways, if you have not signed up for BookBolt, any last thoughts you want to add here, Neil? We've been on here for over an hour now.
Have we? Yeah, we have. Any last thoughts? Not in particular. I just think more people need to actually sign up and give KDP a shot. If you're not familiar with Photoshop, you can use the BookBolt Designer, which literally you can take your merch designs and put them on a cover in 5 seconds flat and have it uploaded to KDP in the next 10 minutes. So I think people need to actually give it a shot and put some stuff up. And I think they'll realize that it's pretty nice right alongside merch as like a side business.
It goes hand in hand with it. Not everything you put on merch is going to work on KDP. But if you start looking through and you start poking through some of the niches that you're in on merch, and then start looking at KDP, you're like, this is going to work really good here. Or this one's going to work good here. And there's going to be some where you're like, yeah, that one, I'm not even going to upload that one. It has t-shirt on it. And I've done that before, but don't do that. So if you're not using BookBolt yet, I would highly recommend it. There's 2 promo codes there. There's one to make the lifetime subscription $100, or you can use promo code Jacob Bates, all capitals, for 20% off your monthly subscription. So it's really your choice. You have 3 days. You can go hop on there for 3 days, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. But Neil gives.
But in that 3 days, you can at least get,
Yeah, you can get a ton done in 3 days, especially if you say, I know this coming Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm free those days. Those are my days off. Or this Saturday and Sunday, those are my days off. Sign up Friday night, get familiar with it, go through it Sunday. And by Sunday, you're probably going to be loving it, especially with the book lister tool. And then, you know what? If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I won't cancel my membership. It makes it too easy. Makes it too easy.
Appreciate it. Hopefully we can actually add some stuff as we get more and more familiar with KDP and things change. But
And actually here, there's
so
one
far
last
it's going well.
example. There's one last example I want to show here real quick. Let me do this. Let me make sure. Okay. And then, so let's do nurse here. Okay. And this is something that I messaged Neil back in October, asking if you were going to do anything for KDP.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
It was a long time ago now. And I asked him like, hey, do you need to create something like this because it's driving me nuts? So if we look here, and I have no idea where that tab just went.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, this one. So
There.
there's this one and then this one. All right, so there's these two. So if we look and let this finish loading here. So if you're trying to find a nurse notebook, okay, you're like, I'm going to go in there, enter the nursing niche. You're going to come here and, okay, here's a KDP book. Here's one. But if you look here, there's a lot of junk, not junk, but things that aren't relevant to us as KDP or merch sellers. You come into BookBolt and, oh, guess what? Here's the alpaca one, just like that. It's going to pull up the KDP things for you and filter out all of the things that aren't relevant. Okay. And that's probably the biggest thing I use this for, just so I can go in here and say, okay, I'm entering the alpaca niche. I'm going to go see what the competition looks like, see what fonts are doing well, see what type of colors are doing well, understand the niche. And it just makes this whole process 20 times easier. Okay. But thank you for coming on here, Neil, today. Anything you want to add?
Thanks for having me. The last thing I guess I could add is if you guys watch this from the beginning, you'll notice that a lot of the notebooks have cursing on them. They do very, very well.
They do.
Definitely do well. I'm just kind of laughing as you bring up results I haven't seen before.
Yeah, there's some very, if you have a, I don't want to say a sense of humor, but if you're okay with vulgar or adult context, go look through like the coworker gag gift space or best friend gag gift space. There's some hilarious ones out there.
Yep.
There's some absolutely hilarious ones. Don't go looking if cursing offends you or anything, because you will be offended. I promise. There's some pretty raunchy stuff out there. But anyways, thank you, Neil, for joining me. Thank you to everyone who tuned in live. We actually held nearly 40 people the whole time. So that's awesome for a 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. But drop some thumbs up, hit the like button, especially if you want us to start doing these every week. Maybe me and Neil start doing these every week.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.